In the previous presentations, we have seen that the VISUS methodology is a triage methodology that simulates the expert reasoning process through non-expert surveyors and automated algorithms that apply expert rules and criteria on data acquired by trained surveyors. In this presentation, I want to show you very briefly how the VISUS can be implemented in a project. This framework summarizes how the methodology VISUS works. There are different phases foreseen for the implementation of the methodology. First of all, it is necessary the preparation phase, where it is necessary to settle a steering committee composed by UNESCO headquarters and Sprint-Union members that develop the methodology and provide scientific support on the methodology, and then a local committee that is composed by focal points from the Ministry of Education or from a university or an academy, from local experts, and from members of the UNESCO field office or other members of other institutions in the country. The local committee will provide support locally to the steering committee for the implementation of the VISUS methodology. So they will support the steering committee for all the adaptation process that is required in order to adapt the methodology to the local specificities, and this adaptation process is done through the use of pre-codified adaptation forms that are summarized in the volumes of the VISUS guidelines. Then the local committee, together with the steering committee, organize the training. The training consists in the training of decision makers, the VISUS methodology, and the training of trainers, that means usually professors of local universities or other experts at local level. This training is done on how the VISUS methodology works, and then there is the training of the surveyors in order to explain how to collect the VISUS OBS and how to perform the surveys in an effective way. Usually, the local surveyors are university students or technicians in the country. After the training, it is possible to start the survey phase, that is locally self-managed. So a set of schools is assigned to each team of VISUS surveyors, and the teams with the survey support tool, that is the app, surveys the schools, acquire the information and the pictures, and this information is shared through the cloud with the steering and local committee that checks and validates the information acquired by the surveyors, and when these inputs are validated, it is possible to elaborate in an automated way the inputs and to create the outcomes that are the safety indicators, the safety of grading needs indicators, the status, and then the collective and individual report together with the map. So all these phases allow to implement the VISUS methodology at local level. In summarizing, there is the preparation, first phase, the preparation with adaptation of the VISUS to local context and the training of surveyors, so the preparation phase. The second phase is the execution of the surveys and upload of the data. The third phase is the automated elaboration of the survey data through precodified algorithms. And the fourth phase is the automated creation of the reports and the development to decision makers. The automated elaboration of surveys and the creation of report are very fast phases that require no intervention. The framework in this slide illustrates the main actors involved in the implementation of the VISUS methodology. So there is the steering committee that is composed by the UNESCO headquarters personnel, spring to nude personnel, and by the focal point that comes from the local committee, in which there are representatives of the UNESCO field office, of the local universities involved in the VISUS implementation, and a representative of local technician or other local authorities that can enter into the local committee and participate to the VISUS implementation. Among these persons, the focal point is designed in order to interact and with the steering committee with more in-depth interactions, and also to coordinate all the activities at local level. The focal point coordinates also the survey coordination units, that are the units to which all the teams of surveyors refer for their surveys. So the units where the teams of surveyors find in order to do the surveys. There can be, for a project, there can be one or more survey coordination units depending on the dimensions of the project and on the number of schools to assess and on their location. In each survey coordination unit, there can be one or more team of surveyors. Here you have some example from the Haiti pilot project developed in the past, where the local committee provides the steering committee with information about the typologies of the schools typical in the country, the other maps adopted in the country as reference events for the evaluations, and an indication of the costs of the schools considering different typologies. For example, in Haiti, there are three main typologies of new schools: those built in reinforced concrete, those in confined masonry, and those in wood frame. The adaptation phase is a very important phase of the VISUS methodology during the preparation, because it is necessary to adapt the methodology to the local characteristics of the country, to check if all the potential characteristics of the structures in that country are considered in the VISUS methodology. Here you have some examples of different buildings we found during the applications in different countries. So in El Salvador, in Laos, in Indonesia, Haiti, Peru, and Mozambique. As you can see, there are very different typologies of schools that can be assessed by the VISUS methodology. Then, in the preparation phase of the VISUS methodology, there is also a meeting with the decision makers, the training of local surveyors that are usually students or technicians, and this training foresees also an on-site training in which students learn by doing with the trainers, and so they try the methodology with the support of the trainers. As a consequence of the training phase, VISUS has proved to be also a capacity building methodology. In fact, the methodology involves the local and national universities and authorities from different ministries in their implementation, and transferred knowledge and technological knowledge to local personnel, involving them in the implementation, and creates or strengthens the competencies and facilitates this, and this facilitates the eventual project deployment at national scale. Finally, it creates a know-how for the self-management of the projects. In these slides, you can see some comments some students provide us after the implementation of the VISUS methodology, and they were all very satisfied by this experience.